basically I was told, well, just don't communicate with them at all. Even if they try to reach out.
Who told you that?
I think it was it DCF?
Was that after the lawsuit was filed, or?
Oh, no, way before. This is way in the beginning.
Why would they do that, do you think? Is that normal?
I have no idea. We were just told, we were just kind of like thrown in, basically. So, is it DCF is the person who had it right before St. Francis took over, right?
Well, it was KVC, but...
KVC. Okay, sorry, I was confused. KVC is the one who told us.
So...
But we started figuring out KVC didn't do crap, basically.
Well,
they're horrible. We couldn't even get answers from them. I mean, it was like pulling teeth.
Well,
like,
we couldn't either.
Nobody was telling us anything. I'd say probably, it was probably last year sometime, we started figuring out that there was some lies going on. So then we started realizing, and then we're like, wait a minute. Now this is the only people that we're pulling information from. So, like, how reliable is now our information that we're putting out, But yeah, nobody wants to communicate. And that's what really kind of irritated us, is that we're basically going off of what, like, the kids tell us. And then, like I told Amelia, like, not even apologize. Let's see if they were wrong. But, what if, like, and not what if, I mean, I'm pretty for sure this is definitely going on, Michelle is coaching them. So now they're saying stuff because they're being coached and they're telling us, so then we have to be mandated to report it.
Now, aren't you guys supposed to communicate with the parents normally?
Oh, yes, normally. Normally, yes.
And you guys didn't find it odd that for 18 months they were like, don't have communication with these people?
Honestly, they kind of put fear in us because they said that if we said anything to you guys, that you would flip it around on us, and that we would get yelled at, and just, everything in the book is what they told us.
So, you weren't getting any information from the caseworkers. I'm telling you, the kids are being coached, and that was part of our... I don't know how much...
was why they were taken.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the case you even know, but you are aware that, like, even the initial petition that was found unsubstantiated, 99.9% of that is fabricated.
And what wasn't fabricated wasn't anything that was harmful to our children. It was about religious stuff, or us going back to Colorado to grow medicinally, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Who finalizes the reports?
My boss, the director, or whatever she is.
So you guys give your input, and then the director compiles it for the court, basically?
So basically what we do is we have to write it up, and then we send it to her, and then she oversees it. So she makes corrections, and she's like, okay, well, you can't say this, you have to say this, stuff like that. And then it gets sent over. Now is seeing that there was such a lack of communication that these reports probably would have been a whole lot different if we actually had that communication.
But that was intentional, right?
Well, it definitely wasn't intentional on our part by any means, but maybe like being told like we can't talk to you was definitely intentional.
I don't want to put it in a situation where it would endanger you getting the kids.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I really stressed to her, definitely don't mention that we're talking anything, because they're going to cut that off real quick. And if they think that, especially if you say that, not that you say, but they are, they're totally against you. So I think you definitely need to make sure that we're taking the steps necessary, so that way they don't see me as a threat. That way, they don't see me as someone who's, trying to help you move forward in this case. Okay, so me personally, I think that she's told me things, and now then she would, her life would be more exposed. I personally think that's what happened there.
But that's not good for the kids.
Well, I totally get that. You know, like if she's already like resenting them, like saying this is a problem, like how is that gonna make them feel? Especially if she's already told them. Like I pray every day that she did not tell them, because that is just gonna hurt them for one, and two, they're gonna feel like awkward, you know, because now they're in a home where. What if she's saying, hey, you know, like, well, you have no choice, so you're just going to have to stay with me type thing, you know?
But that's the kind of stuff she does do.
And I don't know, but at that visit, Abe did pull me aside and ask me what was going on, and Laura was watching us, so I told him that I couldn't talk about it.
Yeah. Just because, like, you know, she's going back and forth, and it's just like, well, what the hell, you know? You know, she's saying one thing, and then you're showing another. You know, and then, you know, what kind of, like, threw us off, too, is that they were saying, oh, you know, you guys aren't complying, like, blah, 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 but then when you went over all these different things, I mean, you guys had check marks on tons of things.
Yeah, we had the majority of the case plan.
We have always been told that they just don't comply, like, they're not doing anything. Like, that's what we're being told.
But you saw in the court that we had all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm well aware now.
I don't know if you're at the hearing when KVC said, we haven't done anything. Like, basically, to facilitate the parenting plan, we've done nothing at all. And they were trying to...
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
And then
I think that court date, that's right, that court date made me start thinking. So I think that really definitely opened up our eyes for sure.
But I thought you said they were stopping communicating with you guys and not giving you...
Well, they never communicate with us, period.
Oh, okay.
Like that is an ongoing problem. Like it started out with KVC, right? KVC, who started at first, no communication whatsoever. And then I think, and I'd say KVC communicated a little bit just at the court dates. And really it was more of like an attitude type conversation.
Towards you guys?
No, towards like you and the case in general. You know, saying, oh, they're not doing anything, blah, 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 like, reintegration's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then we would talk to, well, I'm trying to remember, like, how many times we've actually talked to St. Francis. I mean, it's maybe a handful of months, maybe.
So basically we have to say, no, we agree with why you took our kids in order to get an unsupervised visit.
Well, and then they're going to want to document that, and then bam, present it at court. If the counselors want you to admit that, you know, you did all the allegations, then they're going to want you to state it, and then they're going to present it at court, and then you're done.
So what do you think of the odds of us getting our kids back, irrespective of where they go?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm really hopeful that that's really what's going to happen. You know, and I think I've even told, you know, Amelia, like, have as many visits as possible. Like, call them as much as you can, because I think that if you show that you're calling and that you want all these visits and stuff, it's going to hold pretty heavy with that judge.
I'm not allowed to call.
Well, can you call, like, San Francisco, like, hey, I want this many visits?
Yeah.
I have tried. Yeah, I tried when I was up there. They allowed me to have one phone call a week plus the 1 hour visit a week.
Oh, okay.
That's all they would give me.
No,
well, but at least, so did you ask for more, though?
Oh, yes, every day.
So whenever you go to court next, like, tell them, like, hey, I'm asking for more time. Like, this is not the problem. Like, you know, we don't just want this 1 hour visit, you know, the phone call visit. I want more.
Right, and so what they did
make sure that's definitely said.
You realize this is not going to be easy.
Oh, yes, I realize.
And you realize that they are lying.
Yeah, I'm definitely well aware, but, I can say that, when they're in my home, like, I'm going to make sure that there's things that are said to, St. Francis, and I'll have to work with them now.
St. Francis knew that it really bothered her because she would cry at the visits and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, she asked her mom one day, "Am I still a princess, Mommy?" And she would, we talked to Grandma, and Grandma said they about had to restrain her to cut her hair the last time. And then St. Francis and DCF will turn around and say, "Oh, no, she wants her hair cut. No, she doesn't want to wear dresses because it makes her feel weird."
Well, and the other thing you have to think about, which is, why I kind of started thinking about, the past 2 years of what's going on, but, she made me tell St. Francis that when she's in the home of Michelle, because Michelle's telling her, "You want your hair cut. You'll be okay. You'll look pretty." So then whenever they come do visits, then of course that's what she's going to tell them.
Yeah, and she
stands. But is it the truth?
And
no.
She stands over them. I know, because when we talk to our kids, supervised when they're with Cindy, they talk like our normal kids. They say what they want. They're happy. They're sharing with us what's going on. I know
Michelle's hovering over. She's mentioned that to us before.
And even when we ask them, is somebody listening to you? They'll be like, and you hear whispering in the background, "No." And so she's totally like just over my kids.
Well, she would even do that with us. So we started actually taking them out. So, I would take them to Wendy's, or I would take them to Target, or, I would just go take them to some fun bowling or whatever, so that way she wouldn't be hustling, because she did the same thing to us. And then it would come to then we had a problem, because she would want to talk to us about the case, and then we'd be like, "Hey, you can't do that. Let's go take a walk or something afterwards, or talk about it, after the visit." So that kind of became an issue too. That's why we started taking the kids elsewhere.
Oh, she was trying to do it in front of the kids?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've tried to tell them that she does that, and no one will listen to us.
That our whole family does that.
Which just stresses our kids out.
She's like, it's not, so she talks about it, but I'm sure she's like, well, I'm not talking, to them directly, or they're not sitting next to me, but by golly, she's got a loud-ass voice. So they can hear you.
They all do, and they'll gather in the kitchen.
They're listening to your every word.
They are, and they'll gather, because one time my daughter asked me, "Dad, what's your name?" And I thought, what a weird question. And when I told her, she got kind of sad. And it's probably because they're going Raymond this and Raymond that and Raymond this. And she's, figuring it out. And that's it's just harmful to my kids all the way around.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, they shouldn't be knowing about any of this. None of it. They shouldn't be hearing about anything.
Part of our obstacle is overcoming how to reach these children. And you're going to have to help facilitate that, because we're not going to allow them to push us into admitting something that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, like I told Amelia, I'll be, upfront about it. If they were placed in my home, there'll be no talk of negativity whatsoever. Not happening in my house. And like I said, is that, I think it's important for them to know that you guys love them, and you do care about them, and, you're working on them being able to, move back. That will be something I absolutely do. Because I think, regardless, whether or not, this judge says yes or no, they still need to know that you guys love them and you're trying, no matter what.
And I don't think anybody's telling them that, really.
Except for us at the visits.
You think Michelle's telling that? No, not happening.
No.
And that's what is challenging. So 18 months, my kids believing all of this stuff, and we don't know where to go from here. And then people wonder why I respond in anger. And I think I've been pretty self-controlled. Maybe not in some people's opinion, but, being a man, fighting for your kids when people are lying on the stand. Laura would lie on the stand, and then she would just look at I don't know if you noticed it, she'd look at my wife and just keep smirking. She kept trying to...
Oh, no. I saw it. That's when, I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was like her looking at my wife, trying to intimidate her, saying, "I will say what I want."
It's all a game, it seems like. to her.
Yeah, with my kids as the pawns.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'll definitely agree with you there.
I don't know who was telling you he was talking to him. He'd have communication like when we would call, he would jump on the phone call. But that's why he joined the lawsuit, because it was pure retaliation. Anyone that seems to not support what they're doing, they isolate and they get them out of the picture.
Yeah, look, me and my mom, I've been not speaking to her for a reason, because I was scared of retaliation. But here I just tried to show that we have a good relationship to where I could come to the house and stuff. And then they turn on her and they start making stuff up to her, which St. Francis actually told me that is DCF only, not St. Francis. They believe my mother. They said it's DCF who doesn't.
Well, and that's why I stress too, like, make sure nobody knows that, we're all talking, communicating. Maybe it's because she has to work with them all the time, that she doesn't want to get on, like, a bad side, per se. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's hurting the kids.
Well, in DCF, we've never been able to get a hold of either. Like, I don't even know who DCF is.
I don't either. I know.
Like, we don't know a name. We don't know anything. They will not respond to us.
So then how were you supposed to do your job?
You tell me. We were just told that we just focus on the kids and we didn't have to talk to you guys. Like, but, it's kind of what I told boss. Like, we kind of went here blindsided, basically, because we didn't know what the heck we were not to expect. And then we're told to listen to everybody else that's involved. So we're being told by KVC to just not talk to you guys. So we're like, okay, we don't think twice because we have no idea.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it just kind of messed up from the very beginning. Yeah.
Even
what... So we're slowly figuring out the pieces, that's for sure. Like, it's just taken us a while and, kind of unfortunate that it's come to this time, I have no problem telling them that there's such a lack of communication, it's ridiculous. And I will be like, and I don't mind saying that KVC, blatantly told us not to communicate with you guys. Like, that's not an issue. If you diagnose them with something, you get more money.
Yeah, they're considered.
Which, I am totally out of the loop on this whole, system. I have no idea. So it all is new to me. But yeah, it just kind of baffles me that, and, I think she said they've diagnosed all of your kids.
Pretty much, as far as I've been able to see, and they withhold the psychological reports from me, but I did get some. It makes a lot more sense what they do when you see the financial incentives behind it, because people thought we were just trying to be publicity hounds when we were talking about the medical marijuana thing. We really thought that's why our kids were originally taken, because
that's what they were saying.
Well, not only that, we just couldn't. We knew that they knew that the story was a lie. We have evidence that Laura Price committed perjury on the stand. Do you want to see it?
Oh, yeah. No, I remember because you guys, she went back and said, oh, well, yeah, okay, we have had, communication or whatever.
And
whatever she said, but yeah.
Yeah, and they said no.
I remember seeing that.
They didn't want to see the evidence. And I don't know what's going to happen from here. I really
don't. But just watch and see what happens, because we do think that they're going to end up disrupting again, and we just want to make sure that it can get set up where we can push it just at the right time. But we're
ready. We have all of our paperwork and all that stuff done. So they could literally come at you, at any time. And even Kathy Boyd had even told me, she was like, you know what? Let's just do you rest this right now. Because she's like, I have a feeling that they're gonna give up the kids again. They're gonna cry wolf again, and they're gonna give up, and we're not gonna give them that second chance.
We have a 2-year statute of limitation, but if we follow the notice of intent to sue, that reserves our right. And those are the issues. They literally took our kids, lied, said that our kids were staying with them, took them to a county, because Dickinson County had already been out to grandmas and said, you need to return the children. So they knew if they took the kids to Dickinson, they would just force them to give us the kids back. We were telling them we were going to have them arrested, but Amelia was telling me just give her a chance to work it out with their family. She had no idea they'd pull something like this. And then they took them to Riley County, fabricated a story that the kids had been staying there, which was completely untrue, and they think they're going to get away with it, but you can't do something like this and there not be consequences eventually. I hope. I have very little trust in this court system right now. We didn't realize the depth of this fraud until I went on the hunger strike, and then we went to DC, and then we started connecting with other parents and going to their hearings in different states and seeing the same things happening there that was happening with us. And we were like, wait a minute, these are all different state laws. How is it happening the same in every state? And then we got, because that's what they don't want you to do. They want you to focus on defending yourself, because any parent, if they came into your house today, Kathy, and said, you're on meth and took your kids, how would you feel?
Yeah.
You know, and no matter what evidence you presented, it was twisted against you. And then most parents will spend their time trying to prove that they're innocent. Yeah. We figured out early what they were trying to do, and that we had a chance of not getting our kids back no matter what we did. And that's when we started getting the incentive schemes. The more they can do for the kids that they can justify the funding. You know, well, the parents are neglecting them here, so we need to do this, 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 and this. And now all the kids have glasses. And now all the kids are diagnosed with a disorder, so it goes at a higher payment spectrum where they're paid in every quarter. And it's not isolated where they can say, well, we paid this much on this family. They just send a lump sum saying, we have 1,500 parents in this service, and then they get a check from the federal government. Every time we pay for a service out of our own pocket, they don't get money for it. And that's why we've been resisting everything. No, we're not going to use your psychologist. We'll use our own. No, we're not going to do this. We're going to do it our way. No, we're not going to sign your release. We'll make our own release, and you can have limited information, because they'll utilize all that to get more federal money.
Gotcha. Well, that makes a little more sense now.
If you look at what you've witnessed in that context, some of that makes a lot more sense of why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.